Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I thought I would make just a short video today. Late afternoon, having my glass of wine. Not too long ago, just actually all day today, I've been crying a lot, and it's probably because we're coming up to the full moon, and this is going to be the 6th month since Richard passed. And I don't know why, although there are a lot of explanations on videos that talk about this, that grieving gets worse instead of better within the 6-month period and even on to a year. I kind of have an understanding of that without having to get any support from anybody or go to a therapist or anything. I know what it is. For the first 3 months, you're in a bubble of shock. And that shock kind of protects you. It puts you in a kind of a state of illusion. And by that I mean, you still can't take in that the person you've loved actually passed. There's a part of you that thinks they're not really gone and somehow they're going to come back. And I know that sounds irrational, and it is, and you know that, and in your rational mind, that's not going to happen. But the shock is a way of, the state of shock that you're in kind of cushions you into this belief that it really didn't happen. There's a part of yourself that just keeps sort of saying this didn't happen. And that's probably one of the reasons why it's so hard for me to go to the grave. And I go often. I put flowers. I talk to Richard there. I know he's not in that coffin. That's just his body that he left. But it's really, really hard to accept that his physical body is in that coffin, because in that state of shock, you expect their physical self to come back. And I've been kind of in that state. I've been in that state of, at some point, Richard's going to walk through that door, and it's just going to say, surprise. Sorry, just all one big joke. Here I am. And, it's not going to happen. Well, this is it. If you want to know what grieving looks like, here it is. This is what it's like, day in and day out. And to know that it's been 6 months is just too hard for me to take in, because that's a half a year. And I can't even believe it. How can it be? How can it be that he's been gone for a half a year? And it really is probably the most painful thing. I should get a paper towel. Hold on just a second. I wasn't going to do this. I wasn't going to try. I didn't mean to cry on this video. But it's been like this all day today, because it's coming to another full moon when he died of 6 months. And I don't know where this is going with me. Tell you the truth, I don't. I know that I can get by. I can function and do the things that have to be done. In fact, when I do that, it helps me to get out of this state that you see right now. If I have to go to the market, if I take a walk with Schmickles, I can almost feel normal. But I don't know when I'll ever feel happy again. I can only hope to just feel normal, because I don't know if I can feel happy ever again. Maybe there'll be moments, you know. Maybe there'll be moments, and as time goes on, but I feel like my life, if I can just be normal at times, that will be enough to help me to get by and function and do what I have to do. And that means if I'm busy with something, it helps. When the bills come in, I pay the bills. I take care of things that have to be taken care of. And that helps me to be normal. But there's also a side of that. Like even when I go to the market, and I know people because I go to Ralph's all the time, and they know me, and I know the cashiers, and I talk to them, and I bring in Schmickles, and they love Schmickles. Everybody just loves Schmickles. And I have some friends there that always like to give him a hug, and they don't know anything what happened to me. They know nothing about Richard, that he died. And I don't want them to know. I want to pretend that everything is still normal. And when I go in and I pretend that everything is normal, and I can smile and I can say, yeah, Schmickles, you know, he just loves it here, it kind of lifts my spirits. And then I found myself, I told someone I didn't want to tell them that Richard passed. I just didn't want to. I didn't want the sympathy, and I didn't want, oh, I'm so sorry, and you know, I didn't want any of that. So I just said, oh, Richard is, I'm sorry. Give me a minute. Give me a minute. Richard, I said, Richard is taking a camping trip with his son. Yeah, they're going up north, and they're going to all the national parks together and the state parks, and they're going all the way up to Canada. And I wanted to believe it. There was part of me that actually believed it. I told a lie about it, but I wanted to believe it. It made me feel good to think, yeah, Richard's with Brett. He's going in the VW camper van and taking the trip up north. You know, son-father thing, you know? And I actually started to believe it. But then I knew, stop lying to yourself, you know that's not true. So, this is it. This is what it's like. You're getting an example of what my life is like behind the curtain, behind the scenes, this is me. I don't know when the crying is going to stop. It may never stop. It may never stop until I die. I only know that there are periods where I can function and be normal in order to take care of things, and I talk to people as though nothing has happened. And in a way, that helps me. But then when I'm here in the house and he's not here, this is what it's like to be without him. And anybody that has lost their life companion, they know what I'm going through. And they're the people that can relate to me. No one else will be able to. There are people that have been married and it didn't work out and they got divorces and they don't know. They have no idea what it's like to be with someone your whole life that you've loved and that you've gone through life together. They'll never know. They'll never be able to relate. They may look and say, oh, yeah, oh, that's bad. I feel sorry for you. But they don't know. Only the ones that have had someone that they've loved and gone through life together, you know. Now, I can imagine how hard it must be for parents to lose a child. That's got to be. If this is what it's like to lose your lifelong companion, I can't even imagine what it would be to lose a child. I think that's what this death of Richard, this passing where he had to leave, it's teaching me a lot about sympathy and empathy and opening my heart to things that I didn't feel before. I was always an empathetic person and too emotional, as Richard would be the first one to tell you. He always said, you're too emotional. Stop reacting with your emotions. Because I would get, upset if someone said something to me or someone did something and someone insulted me or something like that. And Richard would always be the one to tell me, why are you letting this person get to you? Just, he was like a sage. He was like a guru. He would follow the Tao, like, hey, water off a duck's back, You're wasting your energy. Just let it go. And then, I would see when he would be confronted with someone that was mean or hostile or whatever, and there was someone, a tenant that lived here. Strangely enough, he passed away a month after Richard. But I remember Rico saying some really horrible things and accusing Richard of things that were just terrible. They were just awful. And he had no right to say those things. And I got emotional about it. I always got emotional around that guy. That guy just always made me. And then, and Richard, I remember he's just standing there and Rico would be saying these stupid, horrible things, and Richard just stood there and just looked at him like, I'm not even going to waste my time with you. You're just an idiot. He just knew how to be detached, is what I'm saying. He was so wise. He wasn't always that way. He had quite a temper when he was young. You know, I remember there were some things when he got triggered. But as he got older, he got more like a guru or something, like a Taoist. And he was trying to teach me to be the same, because he knew how emotional I would get. Like, I had a tenant that I put in over in Maui, and this guy was just driving me crazy. And I was all upset, and I didn't mean to get Richard involved or get him upset, but Richard just had a way of handling people. And he did it by being, what you could say, friendly but firm. You know, that was his motto: be friendly but firm. Now, you know, if someone was really coming at him with like just total cruel, mean insults or something, I don't know. I'm not sure how Richard would respond. But I know that he didn't respond with a flare-up of emotions. It seemed like he had got past all of that. And I have to try to remember that, and I have to try to learn how to be more like him in that way. And I think this grieving and my heart being shattered, I don't know how to put my heart back together again. I don't. You know, sometimes I can just pick up a few pieces of my heart and put just a few, enough together so that I can still go on. But my heart feels like it's been punctured by 1,000 holes. And I'm not even sure how long I'm gonna live, because they say when people are that bonded together, when one of them passes, it's not too long after that the other one goes too. From heartbreak, from heartache. And I don't want that to happen, because I have my dog I have to take care of, and I prayed to God, and I said, it's okay to take me after Schmickles goes, you know? I'll be ready. Because I want to be with Richard completely in spirit and soul. And this physical body prevents me from being with him. I'm sorry if this video is a bit depressing, but this is what grieving is like. This is just a little snippet, a little tiny glimpse into what a person's life is like when they lose their loved one, and you feel like your life just isn't the same anymore. You feel like you just have half a life, if even that. So I will say my prayers, and I will ask Richard to please calm me down a little bit and help me through this. Because I know he wouldn't want me to be sad like this. I know he wouldn't. So all I can do is ask him, well, if you don't want me to be sad, then you need to show to me that you're with me somehow. And that's something that I ask him every day. And I say, you know, just show me any sign. I'll take any sign at all. I don't care what it is. Any sign. If it's 22 on the clock, which is his birthday, I'll take it. Show me 22. Show me 22 as many times as you can. I'll take any sign at all. All right. I should just stop talking now.